Good morning, thriving warriors. Well, we have the not good camera again today, but here we are. Okay, Google, what is the date?
It's Tuesday, February 7th, 2023.
Right, Google. Okay, Google, what time is it? Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 5:30 a.m.
Great. And okay, Google, what is the weather?
It's 36 and clear. Today, it'll be sunny with a high of 63 and a low of 36.
Okay, there we are. So here we are at Services, where our goal is simple. It's to help you get from where you are to someplace better, from point A to point B. We do that through a series of breadcrumbs, daily breadcrumbs, about 12, 15 breadcrumbs each day. This is the first breadcrumb, this podcast. Good morning, Charlene. This is the first podcast, and down below in the description, please subscribe, click on the bell, thumbs up, share, you know the thing. So please do that. And then we have a bunch of 8 other breadcrumbs down there, linked to our online course, link to the motivational video that I watched to prepare for this, a link to the TED Talk of where we are in our 4-week thing. So we are on day 2, week 2, day 2. Good morning, Diana. Link to a Jordan Peterson short little motivational video, link to something from Inc. magazine on how to be better in your life and your career, etc. Links to our Bible studies, Seth Godin, link to Jack Rowland's podcast of really good material that's going to be featured in our magazine starting this month, and the transcript of Seth Godin's blog. A lot of stuff packed in down below. So this is just the stem winder. This is just the start to get you on spend 30 minutes to an hour each day, getting on the path of getting from point A to point B. All right, so let's jump into it. Next thing, prepare. We have our coffee, and my coffee has always had some MCT oil in it, thanks to Charlene. Thumbs up. Hey, good morning, Jeannie. Okay, Carl and I are doing good. Good to hear from you, Jeannie. I know that Charlene is happy to hear from you, and Diane and everyone else. So good morning. Yeah, I'd like you to come by sometime, Jeannie, here or in Pahrump, though Pahrump is full. We always have an extra bed for you here. All right, so coffee, pen, paper to write notes on where we are. Sip of coffee. Hot. Next breadcrumb. You want to get from point A to point B. You want a better life. It's simple. Don't lose your temper. And in today's motivational video from Ryan, well, doesn't matter, Ryan Holiday, on the theme is 8 ways to not lose your temper. Great video. So when I get from point A to point B, don't lose your temper. Now, that doesn't mean don't get angry. It doesn't mean don't get mad. It means don't lose your temper. In other words, your temper got away from you. Controlled anger, a controlled temper is fine. As my grandpappy from Missouri would say, if you want to communicate with a jackass, you have to speak its language. So anger, not the issue. Losing one's temper is the issue. Don't lose your temper. Next, we go to our daily appreciation, gratitude, attitude. And so we start with, I'm so happy and grateful now that what? So take a second to Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jeannie, for the comment. Okay, so now ponder that. What am I so happy and grateful for now that what? Whoa. Ow. I get to have a road trip to San Diego to see my daughters Roxanne and Sophie and my granddaughter Ozzy, and then road trip back with Sophie. There we go. Road trip with Sophie back here for the night, and then to the airport tomorrow. So I'm so happy and grateful that I get a lot of one-on-one time with Sophie. I haven't seen for over a year. Cool. Just adjusting the chair. Time is racing, 6:04. All right, some memes for today. So the 8 things: stop reacting, don't take it personally, focus on your actions. It can make you better. Anger can make you better. Don't let it get to you. Don't seek revenge. Don't betray your standards. And you control how you respond. So having said that, TED Talk for today. Today is day 2 in our course. Yesterday was how neurons work, how our brain works. This is inside our skull size kingdom this week. And today we focus on neurotransmitters, where all of our feelings and emotions come from, the release of neurotransmitters in our brains. What causes the release of neurotransmitters? Well, pretty much our beliefs. And other external things, yeah, pain, things like that too. But a lot of it is our beliefs. We hear a noise, we could think it's the gentle swaying of the wind, or we could think it's a monster trying to scratch its way into the building, or a vampire or something like that. And depending upon what we believe, we're either soothed or, in this case, frightened. It all comes down to a belief. Control your beliefs, you will control the release of neurotransmitters. You control the release of those, you control your feelings. Your feelings affect your behavior, and your behavior affects the outcome. So this is day 2, Simon Sinek, really breaking down the positive neurotransmitters, EDSO, endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, and then the negative cortisol. So he talks about five neurotransmitters. Amy Cuddy last week talked about testosterone and cortisol also. Kelly McGonigal will talk about cortisol and oxytocin later. So we're talking about neurotransmitters starting today and how they affect cause our feelings. All righty then. Next, meme 10, Seth Godin. What does Seth have to tell us today? He's got another good one. Self-restraint versus systemic restraint. It's not hypocritical to help yourself at a buffet at the same time you counsel the owner of the restaurant to limit the number of trips that people take to the restaurant so the restaurant can become sustainable. Okay? So it's not hypocritical to, while you are taking advantage of the system, to complain about the system, or not necessarily complain, to point out that the system can be improved. It's possible to argue for systemic changes to cultural systems while also doing what classical economists posits that people do, which is focus on self-interest. Okay, so you can talk about, we got to change the system, but really focus on what's best for me. In fact, it's this very conflict that requires us to argue for systemic change. It's because of our self-interest, because we focus on our self-interest, that we need to argue for systemic change. Can't leave it to us as individuals. We have to change the system. All righty then, next. Next, 10 minutes and 3 seconds in. You want to get better. You want to get from point A to point B. What do you do, Diana? What do you do today, Diana? What's one thing you can do? Navy SEAL Maxim. Act such that yesterday was the only easy day. Push yourself just a little bit harder, or try to improve yourself just a little bit more. Refine your craft just a little bit more. Spend just a little bit longer writing something, reading something, etc. Just a little bit more. Okay? Push yourself just a little bit more. And lastly, thank you, Diana. Lastly, remember that if you are still here, that means God isn't through with you yet. Because God only takes the people who have fouled out of the game, or they've done their duty, and it's now time for them to go to the next step. All righty then. So with that, we're going to say, and cut, and cut.